Becoming a game, I think, with the gong. Okay, so we've just heard from 4 CEOs about some of the SDGs that they are going to they're going to integrate into their companies, from water, energy, gender equality, health, climate change. So before we go on to our next set of business leaders, I wanted to actually go back to the PwC survey that I had mentioned a little bit earlier in the program, the SDG engagement survey, because I wanted to give a broader perspective on what business believes are some of the most important SDGs. So let's bring up, yes, this slide. So business believes it has the greatest impact on these goals, and you can see there SDG 8 on decent work and economic growth, SDG 13 on climate action, which you've heard today, 9 on infrastructure, 3 on health and well-being, and 12 on responsible consumption and production. Now looking at where companies, let's bring up the next slide, where they see the greatest opportunity, and some of the same SDGs come up, but they're a little bit in a different order. So I believe, yes, the greatest opportunity. Okay, so 8, decent work, industry and innovation. Number 7, clean energy. We just heard about that. Responsible consumption, and also climate action. But compare that to individuals that are not representing business, and you see a little bit of a different picture emerges. So let's see where individual survey. Do we have that slide? We don't have that slide. Okay, all right. Well, citizens, topping the list, SDG. I'm so used to being on television and we have all these graphics with us that support everything. Okay, so SDG 2 on hunger, SDG 13 on climate action, number 4 on quality education, number 1, the SDG 1 on no poverty, and SDG 6 on clean water and sanitation. So just from naming those, you know that climate change, education, those are areas of interest between individuals and companies, but clearly there are some different priorities on economic growth and poverty. So that is a perfect segue to bring up the rest of our CEOs and their announcements and commitments. You just saw that climate action is one common theme for both individuals and companies. So I want to bring up the CEO of EDP Portugal, Dr. António Mexia, who's going to give us some insight on that aspect. Please come up.
So good morning, everybody. Thank you. It's good news to be here in this room, in this building. It means that the trust between institutions and business is today bigger. So it's a good sign. We need to prove that we deserve that trust. We need to prove each other. So clearly, when I see, and I start with the results that were shown here, the 13, I'm going to talk about the climate change, of course, but I'm going also to talk about the energy, the 7, because without energy, everything else is much more difficult, and with energy, everything is possible. Education, security, health, everything starts with energy. So we will have a lot of people talking about energy here on this stage. We are in 14 countries. We have 12 million clients. We have also 12,000 people working for us, and we are the 3rd largest renewable company developer in the world. What do we believe and what do you commit? We believe that this kind of agenda, it's good, because we need to mobilize society as a global. We also believe that clear and stable rules of the game are critical for success. If we don't understand the rules, it's difficult to do things right. 3rd, we believe that it's not technology that is today the bottleneck. We have all the technology and all the knowledge to do the goals, to reach the goals. What we need is attitude and commitments. What about commitments on our side? First, we, as one of the key players in renewables in the world, we have been putting our money and our energy where we put our mouth. I think it's important to be coherent. It's not politically correct speech, it's where you put your money and energy. First, we will have more than 75% of our installed capacity worldwide renewable. We are going to reduce by 75% our CO2 emissions between 2005 and 2030. We are going to promote energy efficiency saving in our clients more than 1 terawatt hour. We are going to expand smart grids more than 90% of our clients by 2025. Third, we are going to invest more than 200 million in partnerships in clean tech and smart grids. By the way, we have the biggest and soundest offshore wind technology in the world. Finally, and very important, fourth, we want to accelerate access to energy to the people. We will commit by 25,000 people supported by us. And just as a final remark before the gong, if we set the rules, if we do the right choices, the support to oil and gas industries in the world on an annual basis is 550 billion US dollars. To give access to the 1 billion people that don't have electricity in the world, you just need half of that energy bill. So clearly, it's possible. It's a question of doing the right stuff. Thank you very much.